Ready.
Oh, we better record.
Cool. Time for random awkward intro part 2.
Yeah, we're a little bit rusty on this again. We haven't. When was the last time we recorded? I know we released in. Was it? I don't even know if it was July or August. We could look online. How pathetic is that? We have to look online in order to tell.
Let's. I'm just gonna look at my calendar. The last time we recorded, I think, was July 5th.
Whoa, that's insane.
It is.
Right, because we were hoping to have it up by the end of August.
It is now October 25th.
Yes. July, August, like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, newsflash, this is not the same studio that we had before. This is a completely different setup. We've got a guy clicking buttons and making everything happen for us over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dan. That's Dan's studio. And
Dan's pretty great.
Yeah, Dan's pretty great. Highly recommend Dan. And this is where our studio is going to be for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah.
While our other studio is currently on like hiatus, I guess, in between uses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Things
Something
are
like
happening.
that. So, yep, all good things.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this is our last episode of this season. So,
yeah, this season and this year, 2023.
Yes.
We wanted to do just one more, so we weren't leaving you guys on a cliffhanger of whatever that last episode was.
I don't remember.
Certainly not a cliffhanger.
It wasn't the one with Robert, was it? No, there was something after that. I think
Yeah.
it was just us. Yeah.
Maybe we should have prepared for this even slightly.
Again, we're rusty, so I don't know.
But then again, we never prepared in the first place for any of them.
Well, we would usually, our process, we'd message each other earlier in the day, like, oh yeah, what did we want to talk about again? And we have vague notes. We have more notes this time, guys. We typed them out all of 8 minutes ago.
This is more notes than we usually have.
Yes. So, first thing on the list, this is the end of season 1. Ta-da! Yeah. It's been, we've definitely missed podcasting, I think, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It was, I don't know, it's so fun just doing that consistently.
Yeah.
And
well, to be fair, we stopped in July because we had 2 major film projects, one in July, one in August. So, squeezing a podcast in between those.
I think we stopped because of the studio being taken down, not necessarily that.
Yes, but we did have options. We had other options to continue podcasting, but we decided to wait. And I'm glad we did because we got to focus more on those projects.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk? Well, yeah, we're allowed to talk about at least one of them because it's ours.
Yeah, we filmed an entire short film in August. That was awesome. The Vicious Vacuum. Yeah. If you follow us on the interwebs, you probably are at least slightly familiar with that one. That was the end of August project. It was 2 days and like a morning, or 2 evenings and a morning of absolute mayhem in a good way. It was super fun.
Yeah.
That project has been in the works for a long time. Vanessa and I first wrote it in 2020 in the summer, and I'm so glad that it got to finally be made, and it's still in post-production. And also Vanessa got one of the lead roles, which was super cool.
And she did fantastic.
Yes. Everybody, but yeah, especially Vanessa.
Yeah.
It might be spoilery to say she plays kind of an evil character in that. I don't know, maybe. I don't
Spoiler alert, Vanessa is the vacuum.
No, the real vacuum was the friends who made along the way, Brooke.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yes, Vanessa got one of the lead roles, and we had just a ton of fun. We had Ethan Hansen from Doomed as our DP, which, I mean, you guys know Doomed. They're amazing.
They're half
Ethan's
our
amazing.
audience.
I know, they're half our audience. So we're going to brag on you to your own faces like we would anyway. So that was super fun. And we got some, like, all of Doomed actually was in that project too. So that was super fun.
What did Jordan do?
He played Timmy.
That's right. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jordan. I forgot. Best character.
We've been out of the loop for a while. Yeah. And we haven't been focusing on editing that project
Mhm.
because we've been focusing on the Isabel project, which is still in post-production.
It's a big project, guys.
It is a big project. It is getting closer to the light of day, and our goal for especially that one, but I mean both of them, is to have them finished editing by the end of the year and to release sometime in the new year,
Mhm.
which might be a segue, but
I like segues.
yeah,
They're slow, but they're fun.
I've never been on one.
Neither have I.
What city was I in where I saw people on those all the time?
Was it Chicago,
No, it wasn't.
LA, Portland, Seattle, New York?
No,
Have you been to other
This
cities?
was a few years ago. Yes, I've been to other cities. Maybe it was on the East Coast somewhere. I think it was on the East Coast, but not New York.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Well, that's the only city on the East Coast. So.
she clearly hasn't traveled much.
Not to the East Coast, at least.
Me neither, to be fair. I've only been there 3 times in my life.
That's
So
4 more than me.
Anyway, so our goal is to have the Vicious Vacuum and the Isabel project finished editing by the end of the year, and then to release them next year. It is, however, and sorry for you out of town distance folks who want to watch our movies, but it is highly probable that they will not be released on YouTube, at least not for a while.
Mhm.
We will be having live premieres like we always do, and we'll hopefully announce those with enough time so that people can, within reason, travel and come hang out with us locally for those. But we are, for kind of the first time in our lives, trying to do the festival thing, and depending on rules of festivals, they may not want things on YouTube.
Mm.
I mean, the last festival we were in didn't really care,
Mhm.
but they were kind of scrambling for projects.
Yeah, but we
towards the
know
end of that.
we know that some, in fact, a lot of festivals,
Most-
prefer first.
Especially like bigger ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think both the Isabel Project and the Vicious Vacuum are definitely worthy of festivals. So we want to put all the effort into that
Mhm.
and have that be what we do. So
Yeah, that's our whole goal for next year is festivals.
yeah, probably January, February we'll be having premieres, and then
But hopefully not February. I'll be gone
right. Well, at some point
at some point.
earlier next year,
Mhm.
2024, and that is when we will be starting season 2 of our podcast as well.
Yeah,
And it will be in this studio. Might look kind of similar to this setup.
might be entirely different. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we do have the option to have like a 3 camera setup here, but we decided to
So
stick with the one. I know it's so fancy. So
Yeah, we're sticking with the one for now, just to keep
that's
it
what we
same
that's
for
what
you
we
guys.
did for the entirety of this season, for all this year. So
Mhm.
yeah, Dan joked that everybody's gonna think we're alcoholics because of the booze in the background. Again, not ours, not our studio. We're just using it.
Kind of wish it
So-
was. I'm not an alcoholic, guys.
No, you're not. Neither of us are. Anyway, next year we're still planning it out, but as much as we've loved the kind of like the random awkwardness of our kind of flow this season, we are wanting to add more structure to our podcast and kind of like segments, topics, stuff like that are more recurring, and
Like
also-
a real podcast.
no, we are a real podcast. But anyway, we also have some people who we haven't asked to be guests yet, but because we haven't been able to record with them.
Mhm.
But we're going to hopefully be able to record with them next year. Some really awesome folks who will have a lot of insight and wisdom and just cool knowledge and experiences to share. So be excited for that too.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing the thing where I don't breathe.
Deep breath, Kate.
I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But you should talk too. This is also your podcast.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, what have we been working on aside from post-production on those 2 short films?
Yeah.
Without being too spoilery, because
We don't care about spoilers.
no, we haven't
much.
announced some projects yet, is
Yeah.
what I mean.
Have we announced 29 Trouble officially, like on podcast?
I think so. We talk about working on scripts with it a lot. I
Okay,
think.
yeah. Yeah. So little update on 29 Trouble, the sci-fi show that some of you know about.
Some of you have helped with.
Some of you have helped with. And if you don't know about it, we're planning a very ambitious 5-season show. Imagine Star Wars meets Firefly, but with a little bit more blood
Yeah.
Deeper topics, we'll put it that way. It's great. I really love the show. And yeah, so we've just got one more episode to finalize in the whole first season, and then we're gonna try and do stuff with it, like see if
Plan out season 2.
Well, yes,
but I kind of have done, but not.
I mean,
not
more like
formally.
pitching,
Yeah.
pitching to certain studios and companies that might give us $1 million or $10.
Yeah,
tens of dollars.
Even if they gave us tens of dollars, that would be better.
Honestly,
than nothing.
Yeah. Even if they just put it on their platform and didn't give us any money, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got 5 seasons planned. It is an epic. I am very excited for it. So we're just gonna keep plugging away at that, and I've no doubt big things will come of that.
Yes.
Eventually.
And if you're interested in more of that, for a little taste of just, I guess, the characters and a little bit of the world, watch Tatooine Trouble on our channel. That, yes, it's clearly Star Wars, and it originally did start out as Star Wars till we branched off.
And now it's very different. It is still in space. It is still on a desert planet, but it's totally different.
Yeah, but the 6 main characters are still there. Actors aside, but
Tatooine Trouble is such a fun project. I unfortunately joined Kate after that had premiered, but I did know a lot of the people working on it, and it was a very fun looking project. A little jealous I wasn't there, but also not, because now I'm on 29 Trouble. So
yeah. I don't know if we've told this story in the podcast yet, but actually Brooke could have been involved with makeup for Tatooine Trouble, because Mario was like, oh, there's this person I know, and he's showing me her Instagram, like, she's a makeup artist, maybe she could help you do makeup on the Twi'leks or something. And I didn't know that it was you that I'd met before, like, one time in my life.
Like right before your wedding.
I know, so I wouldn't have probably remembered anyway, but I was so intimidated by, like, the awesome pictures that Mario was showing me that I was like, well, no, I'm not gonna reach out to that person. Like, I'm just massively afraid. Also, I had already hired a makeup artist for that, and I didn't want to take her job away.
And she did great. It looked really good.
Beautiful, but we totally could have had 2 people, especially with all the body painting and
stuff.
Anyway, it all worked out for the best. Brooke came along and you were there to witness some of the last of the post-production of that, just from a bystander perspective. But anyway, 29 Trouble. Oh, you have a script that we're going to produce next year.
Yeah, I still need to work on draft.
Make a third draft.
Make a third draft. Yeah. It's going to be our first scripted feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our first scripted feature. I may or may not have talked about it on the podcast before, but whether I have or haven't, it's called Disconnected. It is a drama about the dangers of social media, but also the pros of social media. Why is it good? What does it help with? How does it draw us closer? How does it disconnect us? And it'll follow the story of these 2 girls as they become friends and navigate this internet life with their own real life personal lives and relationships. So, yeah, should be pretty good. I wrote it last December and have been slowly working on it.
It's been around for that long.
Yeah. It was inspired by a conversation I had with my roommate about movie theaters and how movie theaters are dying, which, fun fact, they are not. At least not as of this last winter. We did some research into that. They're actually on the rise ever since 2020, which furthers my point in the movie of, like, people desperately want to connect with other humans. And being in a movie theater or in a live theater performance, watching that, there is something so special and unique about that shared experience of art that you can't get anywhere else. Like, sports stadiums kind of come close. You're sharing that camaraderie and excitement about the sports team in person. Art galleries and museums, and another similar concept there. So I had that conversation with my roommate and started writing this script, and it was very depressing. And then we found all those statistics about movie theaters, and I was like, oh, actually, people really do want this. And so it kind of shifted that story a little bit into more of that struggle with the internet and with social media of, people desperately want connection, but we're divided. But maybe we're not as divided as we think. Watch the movie. Let me know what you think, when that comes out in 2 years.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. And for those of you who are actor friends, yes, we will be putting out casting calls for that and probably contacting you personally.
We also will not be directing it ourselves. So we will be looking for a director,
Directors.
DP, and other crew. So if you're interested, let us know.
Yeah, but that we won't be announcing that or really searching for that until spring.
Pre-announcement. We'll be officially announcing that in the spring.
Yep. Also, I am working on a script that I'm not done with the first draft yet. I'm probably about almost 2/3 of the way through.
Nice.
Again, that's a project that has not been publicly announced what it's called or what it's about, but it is a period drama. So
it's going to be very exciting. It's got mysteries
and intrigue,
romance
and
action.
Yes.
Great.
It's going to be fantastic. So that has been a project I've actually been working on since I was 16, although at the time it was going to be a stage play.
Yeah.
So just reworking it. And well, what I started doing was, I'm just going to rework it. And was like, no, that's kind of second draft territory. So then I started where I left off and then kept going, even though it was really hard because I wanted to go back and change everything. But anyway, that's been a really good project for me to do. Definitely stretching me in some ways that I didn't expect, I guess, just with it being an adaptation.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's a difference between adaptation and adaptation, but I don't remember which is which. One of them is meaning being more true to the story, and one of them is taking more freedom. We're trying to be the one that's the more true to the story. But whichever term that is, I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and one thing we are trying to do, which we can expand on later once we actually announce the project, is we're trying to really capture the essence of the story. I'll just leave it at that. We're trying to capture the essence versus the word for word exact, but also still keeping a lot of that word for word dialogue as we can. So
yeah,
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, jumping back to, because I checked my notes, to the release of our short films, we will be doing an Instagram giveaway for those. Some Grannon merch, some merch specific to like props of the films, and also probably some cool local gift cards and stuff. And I'm not going to say any names because
we haven't got them yet.
Yes, but anyway, that'll be something for those of you who like Instagram giveaways. There will probably be all of 2 people participating, which is good odds for you.
Yeah.
So, and again, that will be local only because we do want to share the local thing. Although if you decide to enter from afar and then win, that just means you'll have to visit Yakima. So, oh no. Check out our merch store. It exists.
Yeah,
we added things a couple months ago.
We've got cool things at fairly reasonable prices. Yeah, fun stickers and pins and hats for the winter season. You can rep Grannon as you go sledding. Actually, I want a hat now.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I want to wear a Grannon hat while I go sledding too.
Catch us on the slopes.
We're not skiers, guys.
I actually am a skier.
Yeah, you've never skied once in the entire time I've known you. Maybe you used to be a skier. Exactly.
It's
a real skier.
Time.
Brooke is one of those people like my sister who's just obsessed with skiing, and like that's a real skier. You're a real makeup artist and real friend and real filmmaker and writer and so many other things.
I've been skiing longer than I've known you, Kate.
I don't care. I don't think you're a real skier.
Okay, I'm gonna go skiing like 100 times this winter to prove you wrong.
You will not.
Okay, maybe once.
I guess that's all the important things that we had planned to talk about.
Oh man.
The other thing we had written down is what we're watching.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're watching a really fun show right now.
Yes.
Well, before we get to that, I'm watching a great show called the one with the Betty White.
Is it Golden Girls?
Yes. It's a great show. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm going to be totally taking up knitting again while I watch it.
Awesome.
Anyways, but what we're watching is honestly more exciting. No hate to the Golden Girls. I love that show. What is the show that we're watching?
Alchemy of Souls. It's a K-drama.
I still hate saying K-drama because I'm not one of those girls who's like, oh, Asian dramas are the best. Like, I do watch anime, but like, I don't know. But this one is so good.
It was, the way you described it the other day was perfect. It's like, it's completely ridiculous, yet it's perfect in that. It takes itself just the right level of serious. and it is a good mix of serious and silly, and just moments of brevity, and then intrigue and mystery and all these layers and things. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. I know K-dramas have that stereotype of being very like close-up, slow-mo, dramatic moment for like very random things. But this show does not overdo that. It uses that very well, very effectively as a tool for the storytelling. And I've never like had to roll my eyes and be like, oh, it's so overly dramatic. No, it's the perfect amount of dramatic.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah. How do you describe the plot of this movie?
Oh man, the whole first episode is a full-on season of a show.
I know. There's so much going
packs
on.
so much in there. Let's see if I can boil it down. There's the antagonist, and she has a grudge against the main protagonist group. There's like a whole bunch of families,
but she's also the protagonist because you see it through her perspective.
That's true. Maybe
but
she's antagonist. She's the main character, but she's the bad guy.
Yeah. And, but there's also other bad guys that are not her.
It is a wonderfully complicated story.
There's so many characters. I'm finally figuring out all the names now that we're like 9 episodes in.
Yeah. I'm just trying to boil down the plot. So like this bad guy protagonist is she wants to take revenge on these mages, the big families, the good guys who killed her father. And so she goes out to do that, but then at the very last minute she has to switch souls with another person to escape. And this is in like the first 10 minutes of the first episode. And so she does that, but she accidentally switches with a blind girl. But spoiler alert, she's not blind. We still don't know why.
No, we don't.
And this is still within the first 10 minutes. And then she meets up with main protagonist love interest guy who desperately wants his magic unlocked. And he thinks she can help him with that. And she thinks he can help her with getting revenge on these families, which he is part of. So that's just the very first 10-15 minutes. And it just gets wonderfully complicated in the best ways.
Yeah.
It has really nice subplots that tie in together. And the plot itself is very intriguing. And the way it unfolds is so... It just draws me right in. Every episode, I'm like, I need more.
Yeah, we're almost done with the first season. I think there's 2 seasons.
There's 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the 2 seasons conclude the story. I have no idea. Or if there's more seasons coming. I don't even know when it was made. Sometime within the last 10 years, presumably, but I don't know when.
Yeah. So, the graphics are honestly quite good. The acting, really good.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time we see a show or a movie that we like, and there's some new actor that we're like, oh, we need to hire him for something. What? I don't know. Probably something in 29 Trouble.
You're a big fan of the Prince character?
Well, I like all of them.
Well,
honestly.
Yeah. But I think it was the Prince character last night. You were like, oh, we need to hire him.
Yeah, that was because you were like, oh, I like that actor. I was like,
yeah,
we need to hire him.
He's a very good actor.
Yes. Anyway, Alchemy of Souls. Pretty cool. And thanks to Hannah Pulse, our actress, for recommending that one. So
yeah,
that's been a ton of fun. Additionally, you also had a Harry Potter marathon a couple weeks ago.
Yep, I do that every year. It was a big success, except I oversmoked the brisket, but it's still delicious.
It tasted good.
Tasted good, a little tough.
And that meant that I watched the last 4 Harry Potter movies for the first time.
Yeah, you want to give us a brief summary of your thoughts?
Oh man, it's been like a couple of weeks. I finished reading those last 3 books this year for the first time. And we may have talked about that a little bit. I remember complaining about Order of the Phoenix slightly. Ultimately, the movies were enjoyable, but based on my expectations from the books, I will admit they were a letdown just because of how quickly they rushed through everything, especially 5 and 6. I felt like 5 was a montage of the plot. It didn't really dwell on much of anything, and what it did show was very rushed and just felt montagey. Even main plot points. And I don't know why they chose to do it like that. It doesn't make any sense. But
I mean, when you compare it to the book is thick. There's a lot.
I think it's the longest one, right?
I think so. It's either that one or Goblet of Fire. And to condense all of that into one 2-hour movie, that is a lot. And they tried, to their credit, to really get a lot of those details in. But like you said, it really turned into this kind of summary montage.
Yeah.
And it honestly had a lot of montages in the movie, which is an effective tool for getting all that information out there because it is important information for the story.
But it's not exciting. It's not interesting.
Yeah, it's not
it doesn't
dramatic.
pull you in.
It doesn't
as
push the
a
plot
viewer to watch a montage.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these are things that are happening.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like that movie was just a visual representation of the book for the fans, not for people who've never read the book. Versus like the first few movies are great if you've never read the books. You get all you need to know. It has a really good like story arc.
And with 6 at the beginning of it, I don't remember as much about that one, but it was a little bit boring, especially in the beginning, and that it picked up a lot. Oh, I did enjoy the end of 5 a lot. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that fight scene. Oh, I love that fight scene.
Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah.
And then 7 and 8, I think because they split the book in half, they did take time. And I know we were talking about this and like obviously they could have taken more time and they did rush things, but they were able to take time to show things and to let things play out more naturally like in the books. And I did appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Although they changed the ending and made the ending longer, which I thought was funny. The ending being like the big climax battle of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
So that was funny to me. It's like, oh, they shorten other things and then they make other things longer. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. From a movie perspective, it does make sense to kind of stretch out that literally very final climax fight of this whole epic series.
Yeah.
It makes sense why they stretched it out. I don't necessarily love everything they added. Especially how Voldemort dies. Everyone who's a Harry Potter fan knows that that's just a horrific thing to do to an epic story like that. But do you remember how he's supposed to die?
No.
He's supposed to die as a mortal man, and that's the point. In the books, he just flops over dead because he died, and he is mortal, and he is buried or cremated or whatever. Because
doesn't he like crumble into dust in the movie or something?
And it like kind of defeats the purpose of
I feel like villains crumbling into dust is so cliche at this point. Like so many villains crumble into dust.
Yeah.
Like even in that entire series, like very first movie crumbles into dust. Like come on.
At least that one was in the book.
It's just very cliche at this point.
Yeah. No.
Let's not ever have villains crumble into dust.
Good
check. Mental note.
Yep.
But overall, very glad I watched them. It was cool, a cool thing to check off my movie list.
Yeah.
And it was a good time.
And now you'll have to watch the Harry Potter musical.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else we want to say before we wrap up this
I feel
season?
like that about covers it. Yeah, we'll just keep working on our scripts and editing. Final things.
Lots of editing.
So much editing. All the editing?
All the time.
Yes. Okay.
Why haven't we put that on a shirt yet?
We'd have to choose something. All the time. Like
we will get something like that on a shirt for you.
Here we go.
For all one of you to buy.
All one of you. Yeah. Alrighty. I guess that's a wrap for tonight. We will see you in January.
Yeah,
hopefully it will be January.
Hopefully. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us this year.
First adventure year season of podcasting, getting our feet wet.
Yeah, have a great holiday season. And stay tuned for all the Instagram updates and our podcast in the new year.
Yep.